Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My introduction myself is a Guntur Swandaru, and my number is a 223122117. I will tell you about my 7 journal review of civic education. Journal number 1. What social scientists have a learning about civic education, a review of the literature. Key problem explored: decline in civic engagement. Studies reveal a declining trend in civic participation among your adults, highlighting the need of effective education intervention. Equality in access socio-economic the practice affect access to quality civic education, learning to unequal opportunity of civic learning. Effectivity of curriculum. The review assess the effectiveness of different civic education curriculum and teaching methodology. Political polarization. The impact of polarization, political environments on civic education and its implication of fostering democracy, value, and dialogue are examined. Finding and outcomes. Increased civic knowledge. Research consistently democratizing the civic education. Action start know of political progress, governmental system, and civic responsibilities. Betul. Positive civic attitude. Civic education positivity influences student toward democracy and value, active citizenship, and communication engagement. Enhancing civic skill. Students expand to a profession civic education, develop critical thinking, communication, and problem solving skill necessary of effective civic participation. Long-term impact. Longitudinal studies reveal that students who receive robust civic education are more likely to become engaged citizens in adulthood. Conclusion. The literature review conclusive by summarizing the major findings and highlighting the significance of civic education in fostering active and informed citizens. It enhances the need of continued research and impact civic education strategies to address and challenge independence in village. Implication. The review discussion the implication of the finding of policymaker, educator, and stakeholder in civic education. If recommend evidence-based participation, curriculum improvement, and strategy of promote inclusive civic education for all. Journal number 2. Pancasila as ideology and charismatics of civic education in Indonesia. Key problem explored. Different interpretation, the different interpretation of Panchashila principles my lord to vary operation in civic education, impact the communication and effectiveness of the curriculum. Inclusivity and pluralism, blending the principle of Panchashila with the country's diverse culture, religion, religious and social context process challenge of civic education in promoting inclusivity and pluralism. Pedagogic approaches. The effectiveness of different pedagogic approaches conveying in value and principle of Pancasila to students in exploring assessment and evaluation. The journal investigated the method us to assess the impact of civic education in instilling Pancasila value among students, finding and outcomes. HM's national identity, civic education centered on Pancasila, fosters a sense of national identity and unity among students, promoting a shared understanding of Indonesians' value and principles. Second, civic value. Students exposed to Pancasila-based civic education exhibit strong civic features such as response of significant tolerance and activities citizenship. Education challenge. The journal highlights challenges faced by education in integrating Pancasila principles into the curriculum effectively. Positive social impact. Civic education focus on Pancasila contributes to the development of responsible and informed citizens who actively engagement in communication development and national building. Conclusion. The journal conclusion by summarizing the major finding understood by the significance of Pancasila as the ideology foundation of civic education in Indonesia. In emphasizing the need for a continuous effort in filling civic education strategies that align with Pancasila's precise implication. The journal discussion the implication of the finding for policymaker, educator, and stakeholder in civic education. If recommendation in changing teacher training program, developing strategies, civic education curricular, and promoting interdisciplinary approach to effectively impact Pancasila value to the young generation. Journal number 3. The learning by doing. The impact of expression democracy in education on politics, trust, and participation. Key problem explored. Defining democracy in education. The study explores different conceptualization of democracy, education, and access, how their interpretation may shape individuals' political belief and action. Measurement of political trust. The challenge associated with measuring and assuring political trust accurately are examined considering the multi-factor nature of these contracts. Long-term effect. The student investigates where experience and democracy in education learn to sustain political engagement and trust of where is effect diminishing over time. Individual variation. The journal considers individual factor on the my moderate to relationship between democracy in education and political attitudes, such as prior political experience and social democracy characteristics. Finding and outcomes. Increasing politic trust. Student exposure to democracy in practices in education trend to democracy high level of political trust, preferring favored illustration and leader more favorably. High tended political participation. Individuals who have experienced democracy education and more likely to engage in various forms of political participation make us voting, civic activity, and communication involvement sustainable effect. The positive impact of democracy experience in education on political attitude and behavior tends to be relevant stable over time, contributions to the development of active and engaged citizen. Conclusion. The journal exclusion by summarizing the major finding and highlighting the significance of democracy experience in education for nurturing political trust and participation. If underscores the potential of education institution to play a crucial role in shaping democracy value and for civic engagement. Implication. The journal discussion the implication of the finding for political maker, educator, and stakeholder in the field of education and politics science. It recommend integrated democracy principle and practices into education curricular to agents politic trust adjustment activation citizenship. Journal number 4. A cross-national comparison of teacher belief about the aim of civic education in 12 countries a person's centers analytic. Key problem explored. Identify common objective. The student explore whether whether there are set goal and aim of civic education around the 12 countries of where significant variation exists. Factor inclusion belief. The research into investigation for political factors that shape teacher belief about civic education aim, such as national education policies, cultural norm, and political ideology. Implication of civic education, the journal examines the political impacts of teacher belief on the design and implementation of civic education curriculum and program. Education from the student consistent how a cross-national compression of teacher belief and information education politic form and promote effective civic education practice. Finding and outcome. Different belief the student reveals significant diversity in teacher belief reading the purpose of civic education across different countries, realistic variation in cultural has history and and political context. Communication and there's deeply speech the diversity, certain themes and communication object average, such such as fostering activity citizenship, promotion democracy and value, and cultivating critical thinking skill. Inclusive of national context, the research identified the influence of national education, politics, and socio-political environments on shaping teacher belief about civic education aim. Implication for politics and parties, the journal discussion the potential implementation of the finding of curriculum development, teacher training, and policy reform in civic education. Conclusion. The journal concludes by summarizing the major findings and highlighting the significance of understanding teacher belief in designing effective civic education program. It emphasizes the importance of considering the diversity of perspective will identify common objective to achieve civic education global. Implication. The journal discussion the implication of the finding for policymaker, educator, and stakeholder in civic education across the 12 countries studied. It recommends promotion, dialogue, and collaboration among countries to develop cultural responsive and textuality relevant civic education approaches. Journal number 5. How do schools affect inequality in politic participation, compensation of civic of social disadvantage of provision of different access. Problem explored. Access to resources. The student examine how school might provide varying level of access to resource, information, and civic education, which can influence student subsequent political engagement. Social disadvantage. The impact of social disadvantage on student political participation is considered along with the role of school in compensation. Therefore, there's disparity, there's differential effect. The research investigation whether school disproportionately impact political participation among specific social group, leading a future inequality. Causal mechanism. Causal mechanism. The journal aims to identify the causal mechanism through which school shape political engagement, such as civic education, peer influence, and school culture. Finding an outcome. Differential access. School play a crucial role in providing different access to civic education, political information, and extracurricular opportunity leading to variation in political engagement amongst students. Compensation of social disadvantage. Some school democratization the potential to compensation for social disadvantage by offering additional support and resources to marginalized students. Thereby fostering more inclusive political participation. Group specific effect. The research identifies group specific effect with school having varying impact on political participation based on student, socio-economic background, and democracy characteristic. Mating factor. The student level game mating factor such as school climate, peer network, and the quality of civic education that influence the link between school and political achievement. Conclusion. The journal conclusion summarizing the major findings of highlighting the multifaceted relationship between school political participation and social inequality. It underscored the importance of addressing dispersing in civic education and access to resources to promote more equality and equitable political engagement among students. Implication. The journal discussion the implication of the finding of education political mark school and so stakeholder. It recommendation implementation strategy to scientific education, provide equal access to opportunities and foster a supportive school environment that encourages active citizenship among all students. Journal number 6. Chinese civic education being globalist. Change in civic education curriculum in China, Hong Kong, and Macau. Problem explored. Influence of global thought. The student explore how global trend in international norm impact the civic education curriculum in China, Hong Kong, and Macau. Balancing national and global value. The research investigation the challenge first in balancing the promotion of national value with global perspective in civic education. Cultural relevance. The journal questioned how the civic education curriculum adapts to the cultural context of each region will incorporate global dimension. Political and societal implication. The student examines the potential political and societal implication of globalization civic education in the regions. Feeding and outcoming. Global expansive integrative civic education curriculum in China, Hong Kong, and Macau have increasingly incorporated global inclusion such as human rights, environmental sustainability, and global citizenship. Emphasis on cultural identity. Will embracing global influence the curriculum modification also place significant emphasis on preserving and promotion national and cultural ideology. Civic engagement promotion. The upload curriculum encourages active citizen and communication engagement, aligning with global trends in civic education. Different approaches the risk reveals variation in the degree and nature of globalization in civic education across China, Hong Kong, and Macau. Relaxation their district socio-politic context. Conclusion. The journal conclusion by emphasizing in the major finding the highlighting the implication of globalization on civic education in three regions. It understanding the civic importance of civic of striking a balance between global perspective and cultural relevance in civic education curriculum development. Implication. The journal discussion of implication of the finding for polymaker education and stakeholder influence in civic education. If recommend adopting culturally responsive approaches will in protecting global dimension to foster active and informed global citizen. Journal number 7. The political effectivity and interest as mediator of expand politic participation among Belgian adolescents. Problem explored. Political engagement among adults. The student address the lack of political engagement among adults and explore factors that can influence their participation. Conceptualism, political efficiency, and interest. The research examines the conceptualization and measurement of political effect and interest as key variable affecting political behavior. Mending effect. The journal investigation the effect behind political efficacy and investigation the relationship between adolescent socio-democracy characteristic and their expanded political participation. Implication of young civic engagement. The study explored the potential implication of the funding for promotion young civic education and engagement in Belgium. Funding and outcome. Meditation by political efficacy. Political efficacy partially mediates the relationship between adolescents, socio-democracy characteristic and their expanded political participation, suggesting that high level of effect learned to create political engagement. Mediator by political interface. Political interface also play a median role in influencing the connection between socio-democracy character and expand political participation among adolescents. Combination effect. The joint influence of political effects and interest is found to have a significant impact on adolescents. Expanded political participation indication there's complementary roles in shaping political engagement. Conclusion. The Journal conclusive by summarizing the major findings and highlighting the significance of political effect and interest as mediator of adolescent political participation. It underscores the importance of fostering these factors to promote your civic engagement and political involvement. Implication. The journal discussion the implication of the funding for policymaker, education, and stakeholder involved in promotion young civic education and political participation. Its recommendation implementation interpretation that enhance political effect and influence among adolescents to cultivate active and informativitas. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.